So you know how there's like corruption in politics? It's not like a controversy. It's like everybody's like, yeah, politicians are corrupt. And you know how like math teachers, music teachers, science teachers in North America, they can't actually like pay to teach the classes, let alone, or they can't actually. In some places, they can't pay to teach the teachers, but classroom sizes are big. But the teachers can't even afford like the equipment. They don't get the time to teach the students. Like, what is 30 minutes of science class a day, or like music teachers can't afford instruments. math teachers math teachers don't get like any budget. I'm going off what I know from Canada, and the teachers in Canada are all like, yeah, we can't complain. Don't complain for us. Uh, don't make a case for school budgets because I don't want to get fired. But they didn't say I don't want to get fired, but that's is basically like people who speak up too loudly. I I'm afraid to be someone who speaks up too loudly. I don't want to endorse. This is what I was told. I don't want to endorse someone who asks for a higher budget. And if you think music teachers don't get enough money to replace the instruments or to give instruments to students, then I mean the math teachers have it worse. So, and that was that was the end of the conversation. And apparently it's worse in the US. Like there's no science class. It's 30 minutes science class a day. What? In primary schools? Um like you can learn reading and writing on your own, but you like science like is one of those things like you kind of need someone to teach you because reading and writing you can just like read a book and be like, "Oh, that's how words are written. That's how grammar works," right? You don't need to like teach like you can just learn through experience or talking to people. But when it's science, you're like, yeah, please, someone explain this to me, right? I don't know how magnetism works and how magnets attract stuff and how uh, how electrical generators use magnets to induce current, which can store a charge in a battery. Like this stuff isn't like as easy to comprehend as like grammar. It's like, oh, every word is capitalized at the start of the sentence. I guess I'll capitalize too. Like, you don't need someone to tell you that if you already know how to read. Um, all right. So, what was my complaint? Oh, yeah. So, this is all fucking ironic because there's a fucking petro-dollar. US White House can print as much money as they want, more money than they can spend, right? Where does that money go? Private contractors. Where does it like everybody has to buy oil in US currency. So no matter how much money the US prints, like even exorbitant amounts of money, which US does print money. Even if it's all like artificial money, there's still the demand for US currency because of the oil monopoly, which is being broken, arguably. But other than like the very, very few countries, like I don't want the video to get demonetized, but other than the very few countries which are like, what if we just sold oil in our own currency instead of like eh, instead of through US dollars, um, then like that would increase the strength of their currency because there'd be a demand for that currency. Just like if more people bought stuff with Bitcoin, there'd be more demand for Bitcoin, right? So the strength of any currency is interlocked with supply and demand, right? If I have if my currency is apple protein drink smoothie, but nobody wants my apple protein drink smoothie, then it's worthless as a currency. But like, if there was if there was a demand for my apple protein drink smoothie and I had then and people wanted it, like I could I could make as many apple protein drink smoothies as I wanted and barter with them for people, and there'd be the demand, so the strength of my product would be higher. It's not like that's the barter system, and from the barter system, people invented currency. But instead of the gold standard, the standard is, and not the silver standard, the standard is, well, people buy oil, and they have to use US dollars to buy oil. Therefore, US dollar is strong. That's the basis of the US dollar. That's why the US is occupying or invading or at war with or intervening in 8 countries right fucking now. Afghanistan, Somalia, Iraq, Yemen, Syria, Iran. Did I say Iran? Um, is Pakistan one of them? Oh, Niger, Niger. Yeah. I don't know about Pakistan. I forget. Oh well. I don't know the eighth. And so there's that's a problem. Did I say Libya? Um, and that is that it's ironic though because you would think like education, better informed populace. Net neutrality, better informed populace. People have access to information. People know what the fuck is going on with the world, and so they can make better informed decisions. Maybe hold politicians accountable. Politicians be like, fuck that. Nerf education, nerf being able to read stuff on the internet, being able to look stuff up on the internet. Just nerf that, nerf that, nerf that. Make everyone stupid and clueless. And with a stupid and clueless populace, like, what? What about the people who need education? What about the students who need to learn about gravity and electricity? Oh no. That we want fossil fuel plants. We don't want any of that renewable stuff because we're bought off by big oil, says the politician to the lawmaker. Wait, politician is a lawmaker. High five, big oil. And then if everybody's stupid and clueless with poor education and internet censorship, aka repealed net neutrality, then yeah. I mean, lack of information doesn't necessarily make you stupider, but I think education does increase people's intelligence. Um, just like maybe a chicken that grew up in the dark without ever experiencing the outdoors would be stupider than a chicken that grew up in the outdoors foraging and rummaging around and talking with other chickens in chicken speak. Um, the more you were exposed to culture, the more you have a chance to develop intellectually. And that's kind of why that's another reason why education is important, and math teachers and music teachers and science teachers should have enough budget, first off, to survive off of that pay, and second off, to be able to like teach the kids. Like, how do you teach kids hydraulics without any hydraulics? How do you teach kids robotics without any robotics? How do you teach people chemistry without any chemistry sets? Duh! How do you teach people? Ah, I was. I don't know. I was gonna say, how do you teach people math without chalk? But like, doesn't it make more sense to just give all the teachers laptops and let them present stuff on laptops, because like a diagram or a math program or a YouTube video is going to be much more informative than, because there's people who actually make YouTube videos, surprise, about math. Um, it's going to be much more informative than writing everything out in chalk. Like what? Obviously, there's stuff that needs to be written on a blackboard, but like, um, I learn faster when someone's giving me a PowerPoint presentation on something, because then I can see the diagrams and visualize it easily. Anyways, but no, school seems to be about conformity and making us all conform. Anyways, isn't it ironic? Therefore, my point is, isn't it ironic that the U.S. can print as much fucking money as the politicians want to print because of the strength of the petrodollars, because of the monopoly on oil transactions in the U.S. currency, which is being broken by a few countries? Isn't it ironic that you can print as much money as you want, but you can't spend any? Can't spend any on education. Can't spend it on primary schools, can't spend it on secondary schools, and you can't spend it on post-secondary education like colleges and universities. Because God forbid a well-informed populace. Oh my God, that would just, oh, then the plebeians would actually hold people accountable when they fucking broke the law. And who wants that?